Up next on Melaninial.
All the positive things. Welcome back to part 3.
Welcome back.
Oh, let me close that door.
Boring. Oh my God, so ghetto. just out here. Oh my God, what? I don't do this. Apparently, I'm not good at this. Walk back.
We back, part 3. Okay, so we want to get into some relationship talk. And we want to I want to hear about your opinion on this climate of dating and doing partnership and love God's way, and where you are in that journey.
You know, I do want to get married. That would be nice whenever the Lord sends my husband my way. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a desperation thing. It's not like, okay, Lord, I need it now. You know? And it's like, all right, well,
anytime. Wait, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm going to be 28.
Okay, 28.
In May. So it's not, I've had to work on that, especially when men that I've met in the past have been like, this has to be my husband. Like, Lord, that's why you're sending them this way. This has to be my husband.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that people, we get the free will. We get the choice of being like yes or no. To be in that relationship. Yeah. So it's not where God forces us to be with that person, but He's like, I can send them your way and let's see if it takes, you know.
Really? Do you think there's like soulmates and like one you? How do you see that? If there's somebody created specifically for you and the work that it takes to get to that person, because I do think there's. I mean, I hear what you're saying too. Like, God will send people if you're ready for that.
I think He will send like people where He'll give us a choice with that one person of being like, okay, I think this is your husband or this is your wife. I feel like it's different for different people, because it's weird. My parents have been married for almost 37 years. So where they got married at 19 and 20, and my dad said he knew that he wanted to marry my mom at 16. So he was like, that's my wife.
Were they in church, and where did they meet at school? Or was this before ministry?
They went to, I think they just met in the community because they had the same friends and they knew of each other. And so like they dated like in high school for like a couple of months or whatever. They broke up, and then when they both went to college for like a year, didn't finish, because then they went back home and they were like, I'm not supposed to be at that school. Like it's not helping me spiritually. Yeah. And they both surrendered to the Lord. They went back and 6 months, started dating for 6 months, and then got engaged, and then here we are now. And I think, but they showed that marriage is work, and they showed that you have to say yes every single day to that person. And so, do I believe if there's like one person for us? I think there's like a main person. I think that person can be your soulmate, because I see them and I'm like, they're best friends. Like, they make each other better. I'm like, that is your soulmate. But like, they had to work on that relationship, because relationships are work. Just like our relationship with the Lord, it's work. And so I think that's something that I had to learn, and just kind of, am I dating now? It's not say I'm not dating right now. I'm not. I don't have one person.
Like?
I don't even.
I know that's right. See,
you know, what does that look like?
What does dating look like as a Christian woman? Because for me, I don't have time. Like I'm still doing. I don't have time, which is probably what God is trying to teach me to like just be able to date. But I just don't be having time.
Girl,
like the conversations.
listen.
I just feel like a lot of dudes, which maybe I should pray for the quality of men that approach me, because it's just like, if you don't have anything to say, please just leave me alone. If you don't have no plan, or you don't have any, and not saying you got to have a whole plan, like, yo, I want you to be my wife and this is where we're going to go. But it's just like, have some kind of vision for where you would like to go, what you would like to do, and what you would want in a partner, and what if a union is even important to you.
That's
like,
what it looks
you
like.
Know? Like
that's what dating as a Christian woman looks like. Because And something I'm learning now I learn about my core values. And so my mentor, she's all about core values, and even just not relationship, an intimate relationship, but like with friends. And so of just being like, who's your group A? Who's your group A of friends? Who's your group B? And who are the people where you're like, they have all these core values that are set up? Like, who are the people that are most important, where they can push me to be better, where accountability is something that's important to me. Humor is something important, because I love to laugh.
Yes.
But like, being a follower of Jesus, I'm like, okay, my person has to have at least those three things of being, especially a follower of Jesus, you have to have your own relationship with the Lord. And because that's who I am. Like, you have to be a worshiper. I love to worship.
Yeah.
And so that if that's something that's important to me, if I'm with somebody that does not have that, then I can't be fully myself.
Yeah.
Because you won't understand me. And also, I had to ask myself the question of being like, okay, if this person can't pray for me, but because I'm covering you, you're going to be covered in prayer.
Period.
And are you going to be covering me?
And that is such a huge thing that I had to adjust in my dating life. It's like, I need you to cover me. Like, that's number one too. Like, loving God and being able to cover me spiritually it's
tough. Like, I need to know you're gonna be going to that prayer closet, and we're gonna be going together,
right,
and we're gonna be going to war, but we're gonna be standing side by side. You're not fighting against me, we're fighting together.
Yep.
And so I had to really learn that in the dating life, and because people feel like, because I don't go on many dates, I haven't been, because it's like, you don't have that. You haven't shown me that you have been a follower of Jesus.
Very easy.
And you're ready for it. And it makes you feel grounded in yourself more. And it makes, I feel like for me, it's made me love myself even more, of not just letting anything slide. And because I'm like, you can't come to me and just say whatever, because I'm not gonna believe it. I need to see actions. And it was one guy I went on a couple of dates with, and he wasn't a Christian, and where I was like, oh man, but he's so kind, and like, I think he just didn't get the chance, and I still pray for him, but I'm like, he still didn't get the chance to accept Jesus in his heart. But that's not my job.
That's your job. Everybody
have him accept Jesus. But I'm like, I'm still praying for you, and I hope that you can find that. You can find Jesus, and I pray that somebody comes along the way in your path and just ask if you have a relationship with Jesus. But then also tell you the gospel. But I was like, oh man, you're really, like, you're so sweet. He was like one of the kindest men that I went on a date with. But my I think it was my best friend, she was like, well, Lauren, is this your husband? Like, if your husband can't cover you, why are we playing?
Why are we even doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Especially, I think, as for me, as I've gotten older, I really thank God with I'm a little too like next, no, bye, get out of my face. Like, I have no tolerance. Like, if you don't love God, and I'm really grateful, because one of the last men that I dated, he was a prayer. I loved seeing him get down on his knees and pray. I said, yes. Yeah. This is what I need from my man. Okay. But he also didn't cover me as much. So he prayed, and he had and that's the thing that's why you have to seek a person and really see the layers of their intimately, and not sexually, wherever you at, I ain't judging you. But we try to keep sex out of it so that we can focus on the spirit and the emotional and the other things.
And to be a leader too. Like, I want a man that is a leader, because I'm like, am I going to be able to submit to you? Because
you're in position.
You're in position to be a leader. I grew up in a family with majority of men, where they're very protective over me, because I'm the youngest girl. I have 4 brothers, and I have a father. I'm a daddy's girl. And to have that of being like,
The example.
Okay, the example of like what it looks like to lead. And someone taught me that if a man that I meet, even if I'm like wanting to have sex, if he's not grounded in his faith with Jesus and being a follower, if he's like trying to have sex before marriage, then he's not who he says. Like for what I believe, and like because everybody's different, but like for my walk and my walk with Christ, if you come to me and you're like you're okay with having sex before marriage, you're not it,
right?
Like,
because you're not there.
Because I'm not there.
Yeah.
So my husband is gonna be the one to be like, I can wait with you. Until we are married, because like marriage is a lifetime thing. So why are we rushing?
Right. We got all the time to do that.
We got all the time. We got years. We got 40, 50 years, 60. And
then the urgency to have sex is a sign that you haven't surrendered your flesh to God.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I want to preach.
You know? Jesus! Don't let me get up. They don't want to see me on a pulpit booth, baby. I'm just kidding. I could not. I play too much.
Jesus said.
Jesus said yes. No, but the thing is, I'm excited for our generation of women to like get older and get into ministry and to
I love it.
Like I feel like we're gonna bring such a healthy balance between it because people have to walk their walk. You know, it's just like even opening the space to have conversations about intimacy and sex and shame and rejection and heartbreak and all these things. It's like that. Those are things that every human goes to. So it's like when you talk about these things, you're able to bring God or people closer to God because they're like, oh, she's having this conversation about something that I'm going through. Oh, and she's also a believer. So this is how she's able to go through those things and keep moving forward because she's not dependent on herself. She's dependent on somebody greater than her.
Absolutely. And that being open and vulnerable, that's what I do love about our generation of like that is coming up and becoming the adults. It's like crazy to see that we're the adults now.
But we had to be because they did before us. They didn't. They couldn't be. They couldn't talk about their anxieties and they didn't have the language that we have.
But now we are so open about it and I think honest, where it shows us that we can be real with ourselves and then we can get freedom. And so
we don't have to fake it.
Yeah, we don't have to fake it. And it's like it is tiring of faking it and trying to be the strong person. And it's like, no, some days I feel weak. Some days I ain't got it. And I need a little bit more strength or I just need to sit with the Lord. And I think the people that I watch, like different podcasts and women that I watch preach, and sermons that I just watch or different conversations that they have taught me that it's okay to have those days. It's okay that, you know, I lack faith in the Lord at times or I'm struggling in my walk and that, you know, I have a vulnerable moment where I want to have sex or whatever and making it okay.
To keep moving through it and keep going. Because it is just because you'll have that moment and then tomorrow you're feeling good and you're like, I was going through that. Now I want to be smiling, drinking food, and having fun with my friend.
Exactly.
So what brings you happiness? What's bringing you happiness right now?
Right now, although it's like it's a crazy time. I think I'm in school. So I get to read my Bible. Like I'm learning so much and so quickly.
What are you in school for again?
So I'm getting a certificate in biblical studies. Child,
we love that. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And because at first I had a fearful moment because I'm one of the youngest ones in the classes. I think, it was another guy that was in one of my classes. But most of the people that are getting the certificate, they're older. And so I was having a moment where I was like, oof, Lord, am I too young? Or are you sure you want me to do this? Like, what's happening? But here go these trains. I was on them long ones too. Sorry, guys. Undiagnosed ADHD.
Right.
But yeah, that to be able to learn so much and so quickly, because I started in January, but since then I've read from Genesis. In my first Old Testament class, we ended on 2 Samuel. The ending of 2 Samuel. So I read all of that in this little time, and I got to really read and seek God's grace through that. I'm like, oh man. So school is like stressful, but it's also making me happy.
What is stressful about it? Is it do you like the writing, the essay? Like, what is?
Girl, you know, when you go back to school, you're like, I have not done this.
This it's dusting off the cobwebs and the mental
Oh my
strength.
gosh, yes.
To like read and even just sit there
To sit there and just write the paper. Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like, okay. But no, I think because I'm leaving the tour in June. And
right.
Yes.
So this is 2 years now?
This is gonna be
3.
By the time I leave, it's gonna be a year and a half.
Okay.
I started in October.
Really? It seems like you've been in the company
You know?
longer than that.
That's what people were like. I feel like you've been here for longer. I was like, I feel like I've been here longer.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So being able to rest afterwards, I'm so excited.
Are you going back home? Where's home?
So home, technically, I still consider myself to be based in New York because I'm like, that's where I'm moving back to New York once I leave from here. But my parents are in DC.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go there first. I'm gonna go there to their place for a month, and my plan is to just rest and to sleep and to just be still and to just focus on school, because this artistry life, it ain't for the weak. And especially when you've been going and nonstop.
Yeah.
And I've grown up just being like, I want to be on Broadway, I want to perform, I want to do this. And then this is the first time in my life where I'm like, I don't know if this is all I want to do.
Yeah.
I think there are other gifts and talents that God has for me, and I want to kind of explore other things.
Yeah.
So
that's exciting.
Oh, it's exciting.
Yeah. New beginnings, praying all the open doors,
You know?
and all the just like the rest, the alignment.
Oh, I'm so excited to rest. I was reading my journal. Well, like one of my old journals. I love journaling. And I was reading one of my old ones from like before I started the tour and a little bit during. And I journaled so much about rest. And I was just like, Lord, I want to learn how to rest, or I want to rest, or teach me how to rest.
That is a thing. Girl, stop bringing up these good topics. Because resting is hard for people who are constantly on the go. Like, I thought I definitely had ADD a few times. I'm like, Lord, I can't just lay here. Like, even one day, I used to be so depressed from resting. I used to feel so unproductive and just like worthless. Literally. From not like doing something. Even now, I'm like, I still move around a lot, but I also value a day of rest now. Like, I will say that has been a journey to just learn how to just rest in the Lord and to just be and not feel like you have to do something to receive something or to be worthy of love and all these things. So I can just feel that time with your family and being home that month is gonna fill you with so much. What is one thing that you would tell your younger self?
Oh, dang. What would I tell her? Stop messing with these ninjas. No, I'm kidding.
Leave them ninjas
Leave
alone.
those ninjas alone.
Right. Truly, honestly, young
that
girls.
Is what, you know,
please.
Young and old, all
especially
of them.
if they're not doing nothing for your soul.
You know,
they're not leading you with God. They're just really exchanging energy with you and your body, and this same vice versa. Not just young girls, young boys. It's like it is a moment of pleasure. It is a moment of temptation or whatever thing you're getting from it, but it's temporary. It's not gonna give you anything that is prolonged. I can't even really explain it.
And it's just
prematurely don't do it.
Yeah, don't
But
do
it's
it.
like that. We even need a whole episode on that because it's like it's hard to tell these kids to not do something when we know the urges and the things that we were feeling.
And we
at
know
the
what we
age.
did, and
Right.
it's like it's okay.
They
and
gotta
I think,
do their thing, live their journey, and we gotta let God pull them on course. So you would tell your young little Lauren.
Oh, I wouldn't tell her. I don't know. I think I would hug her and tell her that it's okay.
Okay.
And to keep going.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can I have a hug?
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Shakira, it's okay. We're gonna keep going.
Little Shakira, it's
Were
okay.
you what kind of like what were you like a thinker, a worrier? Why would you need to tell a young Lauren it's okay? What was she? How was she?
She was trying to please everybody. She was a people pleaser.
Like by being perfect or just like of service, like can I do this for you? Can I do
all
that
of it?
Okay.
All of it. She was trying to please people at school, of being like, because I grew up in not a small community, but like people that knew my family.
Yes.
Because my family was really known of like even like my cousins and like my grandparents, like they knew different ones.
Yeah.
So they knew my family stood about God. And so I didn't really hang out with those crowds.
Yeah.
Because they knew my family and they knew they would not be,
happy with
happy
what they
about
knew
that.
what was really going on behind the scenes. And get your butt to the house.
Yeah, and I had a problem. I had a couple of problems with friendships and not making friends, but like trusting friends.
Yeah. Trust is huge.
Because especially when you have the mark of the Holy Spirit on you, people see that and they want to use that and abuse it. And
but not seeing that you see them.
You don't. You have spirit. You don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see that. I see you trying to act like I don't see you. I see you.
And so,
Jesus,
like I didn't understand what having a real friendship was. And so I got until now where like my best friend now, she's like the first best friend. Or the first person where I'm like, oh, you're my best friend. But that was even healing for both of us of being like, whoa.
We've never experienced it at this capacity.
This capacity, like where I'm like the last person I considered to be my best friend, she was never my best friend. It was just like, I thought we were.
Lauren, why you keep opening? Lord, guys, we trying to wrap this up. She done got into friendships now because Lord knows who you are in covenant with, not even just romantically, but friendship. You touched bases on that a little bit earlier, but yeah.
It hits. And I was dealing with that. And so that's where the rejection started growing. And so started going out and trying to just like be with men. And it was like, oh, you only want to be with me because of my body. And I knew my body looked good. So I was like, that's the way I can get you and pull you in. And so that was one thing where it was like, all because of rejection. All that stemmed from rejection. And so never understanding that God loved me and not hearing those words. And it was like, because people think daddy issues can make you like have rejection. It's like, I have an amazing father.
Okay.
Like, he's in my life. He's been in my life. But yeah, I was still out here searching for love. Yeah. And like, which
is so interesting.
And like, which is really interesting.
Yeah, because I think for me, my dad not being in my life and being around a lot of people who feel like, oh, we're going to look for love in the world because we didn't have a certain love that we thought we should be getting at home. But now from somebody who did receive certain things that they wanted to be or received love from home, you still struggle with those same things out in the world.
Still struggle.
Why did you think that was? I mean, you said it's the people pleasing, but the part of me that always just wants to understand the pattern or the mentality behind it, the people pleasing and the rejection, because you just wanted to feel something, or you wanted to feel connected, you wanted to feel seen,
wanting to feel all of it.
You wanted to feel disconnected from your family, like even like going to friend groups.
Oh yeah, like I wanted to be accepted.
Right.
I saw that I was not being accepted by that group, and I worked so hard to be like, okay, what can I do? where they would accept me. And that's what I was doing, where I was like, okay, if I keep pulling away from this life, and I don't want that life, because I saw Christianity as this boring thing where I was like, okay, they're telling me not to have sex, they're telling me I can't drink, they're telling me not to do all these things, they're telling me not to party, I can't do these things. Because growing up, I couldn't wear pants. We went to, I think it was like Pentecostal. I think it's Pentecostal. We couldn't wear pants, we couldn't wear jewelry, we couldn't wear makeup. There were so many things that we could not do until I think I was like 7 or 8, and we went to my grandfather's church. So when we went to my grandfather's church, we could wear pants, and like pants to me was like, oh my God. Like when people saw me in pants the first time, they were like, she's wearing pants.
Sister Lauren Mary Magdalene. What is it? Magdalene. Lauren Magdalene. You have on pants.
I had on pants, and
that's crazy. See,
like,
hearing that now as somebody who grew up with like not a lot of, I'm doing what I want. Y'all can go wear the skirts. Give me some shorts, because I was a tomboy, just like something, you don't put that much thought in God wants you to do this. This is too much sometimes.
And it was too much, because it was
too
like,
much now.
The Lord, yes, he wants structure and he wants order, but he doesn't condemn us. Like, he convicts us and he lead us to correct us, but like, he doesn't shun us or shame us. He's not. So my best friend always says, she's like, he's not a mean God. Like, he's not mean. He's loving. And
he wants you to do it authentically too. I think that's what a lot of people miss, is like faking like I love God or faking like I believe this thing. It's like God knows.
He knows our heart posture. Yeah. He wants our hearts to be in it. And so that's why it's like, okay, if you are going to ask for forgiveness, or if you know you're about to go out there and do the thing that you're praying for right now to not do, and you're like, Lord, please just help me not go have sex with this person. But you already know in your heart, you still about to drive over there.
Lord, I'm on one of them missions.
Yeah, Lord, if you really
don't
want
just cover me, and if you really don't want me to go, please make my car stop.
And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes he will listen to you, because I asked God, and I was like, Lord, if you really don't want me to talk to this guy, make it impossible for me to get into him. Girl, I lost his number. I couldn't, like, I don't know if I don't know what happened, but like, we couldn't get in contact with each other. And like, because he didn't have social media, he didn't have certain things, and I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
Right.
But yeah. But leading back to what I think, younger me, it was just rejection. And like, you have a father that loves you, and God Father that loves you, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that somebody could, because of what I was also being taught, and what I was also being told, of being like, don't have sex, don't do these certain things, don't talk to these people. Like, I wasn't being taught why. It was more of being like, just don't. Yeah,
and I think even that is like, okay, church family, gathering.
Please.
We have to learn. We can't just say don't do something, because it's going to make people want to do it. Like, that's not how you educate and teach people, especially young adults, how to live a Christ-like life. Like, we have to create new systems and structures and ways of connecting and communicating with each other, so that people actually see the benefit of living a life surrendered to Christ. Not just because, don't do this because I said not to do this. That's not helping anybody. That's not giving them examples or telling a little bit about your story. Because when you start getting into your story, that's when it starts looking a little like, oh, you was out there in the streets too. Yeah. So don't be trying to hide out what you used to do from the situation.
Listen.
But oh my gosh, thank you. This was a long one, but we got a lot of juicy and just educational and feeling conversations. Obviously, God is amazing. I'm grateful that you can even pour more of your light and the love that he's been pouring into you into this podcast and to me, because I'm just like, yes, Lord, I know you're doing good things in people. Like I can feel it on your spirit. I can see it in you. I'm so happy for what you're going to be doing next. I'm just going to be looking out on Instagram, checking in with you, like what she got going on. Okay, I see you. But yeah, I'm just wishing you the best. Thank you so much for joining the conversation, and thank you guys for watching and tuning into this episode of Melaninial. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Thank you for watching Melaninial.